My name is Kip Rasmussen. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist who's been working with couples, both unmarried and married, for decades. What I'd like to talk about today is one of the most damaging things that can happen in a close romantic relationship, and that is escalations. Now, a lot of people feel like when they get together with someone that they really, really love, that person should magically not do anything that is hurtful or difficult for them to take. But we did not get together with our clone. No matter what we love about them, they are very, very different from us. And when things happen that are really difficult, we tend to say something on the order of, deep in our hearts, could someone who says that they love me possibly have said something or done something so hurtful? And the answer is yes, invariably, inevitably, it's going to happen, because that's the way we are as human beings when we're in close physical proximity. We say and do things that are sometimes thoughtless, sometimes hurtful, sometimes sarcastic, sometimes a little snarky, and that can damage our relationships. Well, the most damaging thing that can happen that comes out of this is what we call an escalation. Now, this is based on some of the work of John Gottman, who talks about criticism in our relationships and how damaging that is. Well, criticism is damaging, but escalations are devastating. So what's an escalation? Well, if a person in a close romantic relationship feels hurt by something that their partner said or did, then they oftentimes say something equally difficult to bear back. And this is very painful for another person who says, oh my gosh, where did this come from? If they are in the relationship on the level and really want things to work, rather than just have some kind of desire to dominate or domineer their partner, or that it's become a competition or a battle for status and supremacy in a relationship, which happens. But most relationships, people are trying to run pretty well, and they're working hard to get along with each other. So if a person hears something that they can't believe that they heard and was so painful, they retaliate. They counterstrike, and they say something damaging. Well, that person who originally started it, if you can call it that, oftentimes is so hurt and so wounded that they retaliate as well. Now, we've all experienced this generally in our relationships, but we've seen it in other people, sometimes our parents. And these can escalate into things that are very, very damaging, even devastating over the course of time. So these escalate in both volume and in intensity of the things that they say, and pretty soon people are saying such hurtful things to each other that it's difficult to get over, and sometimes impossible to unsay, even if there are apologies and things that are done to work it out over the course of time. So there are partners who remember some of the things that were hurtful that people did for years and years and years, and it's very difficult to get over those. So we need to avoid those escalations at all times. So here's one of the things that people can do. Take a break. Take a little bit of a break. Rather than say something snarky or sarcastic back, and go calm down somewhere. Take a little bit of time. Take what time you need, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, sometimes overnight, sometimes 24, before you respond in a way that's going to escalate things. And when you do, then it can be really powerful to use one of the things that we talk about a lot, which is I statements. Now, my version of an I statement is a modified one, and this is what I would want people to sort of work on, and that is, I am feeling a certain way, not necessarily that you did this and therefore I'm feeling a certain way, but just a plain statement of fact. I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling attacked, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling anxious, something like that. And then that is the starting point on what should be considered a much more productive kind of way of working things out. And then that person who originally started it, if you want to call it that, is generally going to be much less defensive, like, I didn't intend to say this, and apologies can happen. But the escalation probably has been prevented. So what I'd like to challenge everyone to do who's in these kinds of close romantic relationships where you might be struggling is, when you hear something like that, take a second, think it over, take a break, go mull it over, use all the verbal skills that you have at your disposal, and come up with some kind of way, generally an I statement. I'm feeling hurt, I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling attacked. Or can we talk about this, rather than launch back and counterstrike, so that you can avoid these escalations. Good luck at this. It's a challenge. It's a real challenge in the moment because we're deeply hurt and we escalate and we feel like, well, if I'm hurt, then I'm going to hurt someone back. But we need to avoid those because they're absolutely disastrous for our relationships over the course of time. Not many relationships can survive a lot of escalations. So thanks for listening to the end, and good luck with everything in your relationships.